Hey traders, how are we all doing? I hope everyone is having a great weekend. It is 9:15 in the evening, Sunday night, and I'm on the computer getting things done now. We're doing a watch list for tomorrow. So for the 22nd of January session, what I will do is update this though around an hour before market open. And for people watching the videos, I get a few views more than my Forex stuff. I'm contemplating sharing a Forex video on Profitly. I understand it's for stock trading, and there's a few key differences with Forex, especially I don't scalp and trade the lower time frames for Forex, but very interesting situation with the US right now. I'm actually in 3 buy positions on the Aussie dollar, the pound, and the New Zealand dollar. So I got in before all this government shutdown thing, but it's very interesting. So we'll see how those positions go. And if you are subscribed to the channel, thank you. Look, I hope this content is helping. Feel free to ask a question. A gentleman asked me about spreadsheets earlier. I think it was on it was on the 5-month Tim Sykes teaching video. So I do keep a spreadsheet of all my trades and I journal them. So for example, I will have the screenshot of the trade, not in progress, but just the trade. And what I will do is get a video right after and do a video recap so it's fresh in my mind. So I keep all that as well. It's all available on YouTube as well, guys. I need to sort of arrange it a bit better. But if you are on Profitly, you can go through my content. I've actually put up quite a lot of videos on Profitly as well, but feel free to check that out. Now, in regards to spreadsheets for stock trading, I haven't really done anything specific. I've been sort of like logging stuff. When I first started, before I had stocks to trade, I would log things, throughout the week and work out. It was more trying to capture, daily and daily moves. So actually putting a trade in and then setting and forgetting. But I quickly realized that the penny stocks either are way too volatile, and if you have a stop loss, it's you're a bit vulnerable, and just to manipulation, just to crazy spikes and things like that, and obviously that will trigger your sell if you do a buy, and that's going to stop you out. So it's very different to Forex. I mean, that can happen in Forex as well, but I have very wide stops, and I set and forget it. I use the 55-day moving average and things like that. I've been actually not back testing, but doing some analysis with the 5-day and the 3-day moving average. I'm liking the 3-day moving average. So what I'm referring to there is I'll identify a trend in the first 10 minutes. And then if it bases, I'll just use the 3-day moving average as a mental stop, and then I'll try and go for a 3-to-1. But I will go into details about my spreadsheet that I keep for my trade journal as well. Although what I do find as well is just writing things down. That uses a different part of the brain than actually typing, and I find that actually really helps. Just jot down more your emotions. I'm still finding, I wouldn't say I'm nervous, but the heart rate elevates a little bit when I'm in a trade, because it's very different for me. I'm still getting used to the lower time frames, and I haven't really taken a whole lot of trades, to be honest. So I'm still working on that. But what I want to talk about now is the watch list. So I've got up MGTI here. Look, it's this right here is. This is not a gold standard play, but it's interesting. I'm going to present my thesis. I understand this is not like a hot stock or anything like that, but sometimes, I'm trying to think against the crowd. But when it comes to trading, you do want a lot of volume. You want a lot of interest in the stock. So obviously this is probably going to rule out. I mean, look, this is interesting how it did dip by. I'm really focusing on the dip buys as well. But here is, so obviously MGTI are the biggest Bitcoin miners in the US. So sorry, I'm a little sleep deprived. So finally got it done. All right, so this is the daily chart, and let's go to the 4-hour. To me, just looking at that chart, it's bearish, to be honest. I don't know too much about Bitcoin, so it's a bit more from a technical standpoint. That's it could be making a breakdown. But we'll go to the 4-hour time frame, and it's interesting. Wow. Okay, so it's seen a bit of a bounce. It got down to the low 9,000s, so a significant correction. So there's still plenty of Sunday to go in the rest of the world. It's only 9 a.m. in New York, so we'll see how this one goes. But the reason why I discussed that in MGTI is that it's sort of interesting, and it found a little, very low liquidity though. We'll see how things go Monday. Okay, this is interesting. There's some sort of investigation into cryptocurrency companies invested with losses from cryptocurrency investments. Okay, so some sort of lawsuit thing going on. Okay, so that's interesting. But look, anyway, I mean, my stance on this is a potential buy if Bitcoin goes to over 13,000, and if volume picks up a little bit as well. So if during pre-market, if maybe 100, 200,000 shares are traded, and it's holding around the $3 mark, the $4 mark, interesting little support level there. Or it opens and then we see it trickling back down to 375, potential dip buy. And what I have been really going through is what a good dip buy looks like. Because when I first started, it was like, watch the video lessons. So I'm doing the market prep course. I watched the 2 DVDs that came with the penny stocking part 2, Tim Fundamentals part 2. Then I watched like the 60-day starter thing. Okay, I'm ready to go. Well, no, not necessarily at all. Because I hadn't watched a lot of specific breakout videos. I hadn't watched a lot of dip buy videos. So the more you see the pattern, the more familiar you're going to be, the more confident you'll be able to execute it. NGTF as well. Nice little one. I mean, obviously not fantastic, but this is interesting. This probably won't feature in the watch list. Maybe marijuana stocks have seemed to fade away, so I'm going to close that down right now. I like to keep things simple. I've got a bit of a parched throat. Pardon me. I was feeling better than I went to athletics training today. That was pretty dumb, but I enjoy that. It's also important, guys, to have other pursuits outside of trading as well. Obviously, individuals like Stephen Dux, Roland Wolf, it seemed their first year or so, I think, was extremely obsessive, and their results sort of speak for themselves. Obviously, those guys have got some special characteristics, though. Stephen Dux, with his analytics, is pretty important. So I know Forex traders, and they do similar things. They do back testing, and they'll go through their data and they'll do analysis of what works, what patterns are good, when to get in, when to get out, and they'll be very, statistics heavy. And Stephen seems to have sort of developed a system of doing that, and he's a good trader. Well, he's a good trader because he's very confident, because he has big positions that he takes, and he really can really nicely. So I'm not at that obsessed level, to be honest. And I don't want to be a millionaire in a year or two, to be honest. To me, I wouldn't really thrive under those conditions. I sort of learn a little bit slower, and that's fine by me. I'm going to close down IPCI as well. I think these guys weren't, it wasn't a crypto play, it wasn't a blockchain play. Ford, what's going on here? Pardon me. Look, we'll see. I just want to sort of have MGT up as a trade idea. Okay. I'm just going to look at the watch list from Tim that he put out on Friday as well. Let's have a look, see how KSHB finished. KSHB. I might have done this yesterday. I don't think so. It was more like a review, and I said that I would put out the watch list today, which is what I'm doing. Alright, so the counter display, it's interesting. I don't mind NGTF as well, because it's infused into the food, and it's interesting. It's like healthy snacks. It's not something that might take the world by storm. To be honest, it'd probably be a failed company, but it's it's this is, if we can see some more run up, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday potential dip buy. There's a few other things worth talking about. I'm just going to keep it simple though. MGTI potential dip off 375. The problem with MGTI is that it can be very tiresome. So, and my issue as a trader is the patience factor. So once I'm in the trade, if it's moving a little bit in my favor, because I have a tendency to take quick profits, which is very bad, because you want it to get to that 3-to-1 reward to risk for when you have a loss of 1-to-1. If you're taking 1-to-1s too much, you might have 2 winners and then a loser, and that's not really how you grow an account well, especially a small one. So I contemplate a dip buy off 375. I'd like to see Bitcoin strengthen a little bit though. Okay, KSHB a little bit higher price to be fair, but the volume is pretty low as well. Interesting. I mean, it sort of had a failed dip buy there. A little bit of support in the 580s, so we might see some more selling and dip buy potentially off the 580s. I'm going to have some more water, guys. I do apologize about this. I don't want to bundle in the watch list with my trade journal spreadsheet stuff chatter as well, but in regards to the question about spreadsheets, what I find for me most helpful is seeing the charts and actually seeing it play out in the video lessons. So some people, I guess what you could sort of do is, what's the correlation between the percentage of the panic to the dip? So if you have a 5% sell-off at the start of the session, hits support, or maybe not support, like strong support, but reverses, or is it a 10%? Is that optimal? Is it a 20%? And from the video lessons I'm seeing, it's at least 10. So I haven't really tracked it all. For me, it's a little overwhelming. I mean, how many stocks are there? 10,000? So where do you start? Do you do sectors? I mean, that's a whole lot of work. So I have actually slowly started doing it. I'm doing the Bitcoin blockchain sectors, which is like 20 odd stocks. So I'm going to look at that. But then it's sort of like, you got to go through the daily chart, the year time frame, and say, look, this year what happened? Where were the dip buys? What's the support level? It's good to have an in-depth understanding, but I mean, to go stock to stock is, this is going to require a lot of work. But I think it will help me seeing the charts and these plays repeated over and over and over again, because you see it. You just have to know when to start looking, because you need to start looking, like MGTI. You need to understand the characteristics well beforehand things start happening. Let me explain. So, although this thing didn't really, it ran up a little bit. I think it was up, and then, then the panic starts happening, and it's sort of immediate. And you need to start tracking this, going, okay, it's panicking. Now it's sort of done that 10% odd level of sell-off, and then you start watching for the entry, which would be, a really good entry to me, like a 5 out of 5 entry with my journal stuff would be, with the Excel spreadsheet would be, the high here, 55. And obviously the spread is there, but if it's not terrible, you can trade it. A few cents would be ideal, or point, 0.1%, penny, whatever it is. I'm not sure if the American, monetary style system when it comes to less than $1, because I'm an idiot. And then you'd have the mental stop down at the low of that candle, maybe the low of that candle there. So 53. So the more you see these, the better it is, because you need to be watching before it happens, because you need to have the order ready. You need everything ready to go. You can't be sort of and I find myself I don't want to manage too many stocks. So anyway, guys, look, I've really gone off topic a little bit. I'm just going to call it MGTI KSHB. Okay, this is going to be updated, but I had a few things to talk about. I lost track of time. Longer video. Thank you for watching, guys. Feel free, keep asking questions. Feel free to interact with me. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.